have been consciously practicing separating my identity from what I do. We actually do connect our identities to our careers, and that actually gets threatened whenever there's a shake to our career. A lot of the fear around AI is about AI replacing humans, coming after different jobs, all those things.
What happens when your career is taken away?
And in the age of AI, is our job title who we really are?
Our guest today went to law school but never practiced.
And she has a powerful answer on the AGI Podcast.
What's the reason? You went to law school?
My parents are from a medical profession. Me being the very logical, argumentative, stubborn kind of child, I was labeled math-log.
Tell me about the mentality or the mindset that gave you the boldness.
I'm an eternal optimist. I see the positive side. The first job I had was actually as an HR officer. And I actually think that job was extremely important for me, as that was the moment that I realized that I did not function well in already structured, organized kind of settings. I like more being part of something being built.
Are there because of the opportunities that were given to you, handed to you from the family?
I have been exploring who am I without the title, without the roles. I'm not hardened enough. My journey has been very smooth and it has made me soft.
How is the difference between Ethiopia and practicing law or another part of the world? So somebody going to law school and having the experience of law school but not practicing it, I thought that was only about me, but I have someone here today who have actually a similar kind of experience, who went to law school but never experienced it or never practiced it. Welcome to the show, Mekdes.
Thank you.
I started the conversation with law school because that is one of the things that we'll be talking a lot about, but I want to know who Mekdes is.
Okay. Thank you for having me first.
All right.
Absolute pleasure to be here. Okay, so you wanted to start with the tough question. Who is Mekdes? I actually want to say I have been consciously practicing separating my identity from what I do and from my careers or from what I studied. So this is the first time I'm going to try that in public.
All right.
But, a lot of us, for majority of the time, we actually do connect our identities to our careers. And that actually gets threatened whenever, there's a shake to our career. There's there is a little bit of insecurity about our identities. Yeah. So I have been exploring who am I without the title, without the roles. So I'm going to try.
All right, try it.
Okay, so I have to say I am someone with curiosity, an adventure-loving person.
All right.
Person with a zest for life.
All right.
I really do enjoy life. I believe in humanity. I like connecting to people. That's one thing I can do all day, every day, is connect with people. I really do also believe in challenges being a part of life. And I also believe in evolving and changing and growing. And I think life is meaningless unless we give it meaning. And
Definitely.
It's up to each one of us to give that meaning to our own lives. So that's it. How did I do?
All right. That's great, actually. But what's the problem was identifying yourself was a calling your love? For example, you've been to different things in different part of your life or states of your life. Someone involved in journalism, maybe some part of it, or the leadership of journalism. and technology and most part of it maybe, and the other things. So what is the problem? For example, me, what if I identify as Abraham who likes law because he studied law, and who likes public service because I practice public service. And most of the time, I like talking to people, having conversations. It's a career that I follow now. What if I identify myself with these things at the same time, having the understanding at the back of my mind that I have other things as well? So
There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
yeah, right.
And I'm not dismissing career as not being part of our identities, because
Sure.
it's a big part of our identities, actually. But it is only one aspect of the expression of who we really are internally.
All right.
Some people just identify solely with just that career, that profession, like, who are you? I am a lawyer.
No.
And all of a sudden that is taken away from me for whatever reason, physical or whatever kind of problem. If that is taken away from me, all of a sudden I'm faced with this question. Okay, if I'm not what I do, then who am I? What's left? If you're solely identifying with just the career. And a lot of the things, I actually started this, practicing this because of what I've seen in AI. A lot of the fear around AI is about AI replacing humans, AI coming after different jobs, all those things. And I'm thinking, okay, how is AI going to replace humans? What is the fear coming from? It's coming from my job. It does a lot of tasks, from the entire spectrum of tasks around many jobs. It does a lot of it, and much better than we do.
Yeah.
And that shakes us because, as I said, that's how we identify. We kind of forget that we're more. So while there is nothing wrong with identifying with your careers as parts of the expression of who you really are inside, but to only solely depend on that to give your identification could mean, like diminishing the essence of who you really are.
All right. Would you say you're philosophical, more philosophical than practical?
I am a very practical person, but
Was a
I
lot
don't
of philosophy,
know.
maybe?
Yeah, with a lot of philosophy behind it. And maybe life has turned me into one. But I do like philosophy. I really think that philosophy is behind everything.
Yeah.
So I am philosophical, but I'm a very practical person as well.
Amazing. Ethiopians are really fearful of labeling themselves as philosophical, because would we associate as being philosophical as someone who is actually doing all these rubbish things that the society labels as rubbish things, but not achieving anything in life in terms of maybe career or getting money or having properties or anything of that sort? So whenever I ask people coming here about their nature or their inclination of being philosophical, they avoid it. No, I'm practical. See, I go out, I do this and that, I win a braid, and I have a roof over my head, and I feed my family. Nothing about me is philosophical. So they try to defend themselves. So the way you actually present what being philosophical is really fascinating. Okay. I mentioned law school from the very outset. I'm really happy about the subject of law coming into conversations. How is law being practiced in Ethiopia? And you had the chance during the law school, you had the chance to go to other places like the US because of some competition, and you have seen the other part of the world. How is the difference between Ethiopia and practicing law, or how people portray law in other part of the world?
I would say it's, if I didn't know better, I would say I would have thought it were two different things. The entire ecosystem is completely different. Our systems are different. The setup is different. And although the competition I went to is, a hypothetical case that is supposed to replicate the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. So that was the kind of setting. There was no jury or anything like those, the things that we see on the movies. But growing up, I remember being very much impressed with any books or movies or series that were legal, and they had the legal theme. And it was so impressive how they debated, how they made their points. And Hollywood, how they exaggerate the courtroom drama. And it was just, like we all got sucked into that.
Yeah.
The reality is very far from that. I believe it's also very different practically in everyday courtroom, and even in the States. But you have that in mind and you come to the Ethiopian courts, it's, it's two different things. I wouldn't know how it would be it is to practice law in Ethiopia, because I never practiced. But I think I've only been in courtrooms maybe 3 or 4 times in my entire life, just to observe.
In Ethiopia?
In Ethiopia.
All right.
So yeah, the whole thing is very, very much different. And as a legal practitioner, the pros and cons, I really wouldn't know much about it. The reason I went to law school was never to practice. But law is law.
What's the reason you went to law school? Well, like, if you don't want to practice it, it's going to be really fancy if you tell me that you want to be logical and you went to law school, then you started doing other things when you come out of law school. Is that how it is?
Oh, well, something like that, but okay, with a twist.
All right. I want to know what the twist is.
So my parents are from a medical profession.
All right. They're doctors.
My father is a doctor. My mother is a nurse.
All right.
And, they've both been serving in public health and, things like that. But growing up, also there was, me being the very logical, argumentative, stubborn kind of child. I was labeled Matlock. So maybe that might have an effect on me, that might have been a little bit of a nudge.
All right.
But towards the end of high school, as we were discussing, what departments or what field, what industry I should go to, I was not interested in any other sciences, medicine, engineering, none of those. I leaned more towards the social science studies.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know exactly what. So that was one of the reasons why law school was picked. So in that family discussion, it was like, I feel like I want to have a business of sorts in the future, doing what I don't know. That vision is going to clarify itself as time goes on.
No.
But I want to be in the private sector, creating things. And so I remember my father said, law school would be your better chance of getting the right background for those. Yeah. Even better than, business administration or marketing, any of those kinds of business related courses. And he said, particularly because the whole field is based on logic and reasoning.
No.
It would give you the right kind of, kind of thinking, and at the same time, you'll be exposed to a lot of different things like contract law. So, this how systems work, how people work, contracts work, and that will give you the right idea of how to navigate the business world. And that was actually a correct assessment,
all right.
I would say.
Okay. Yeah. So you came out of law school and you started working where? So
the first job I had was actually as an HR officer in SOS Children's Village right. for a few months. Didn't last long. It was a very important job for me for 2 reasons. First, because it was a very good organization to work for. I had very good colleagues My bosses were very nice, accommodative, and they were very helpful. So it's very important to have your first job in a good environment, in a very supportive environment. So that was one of the reasons. The second reason I actually think that job was extremely important for me is that was the moment that I realized that I did not function well in already structured, organized kind of settings. I like more being part of something being built. Rather than just maintaining systems that are already there. So, there's no room for innovation because everything is already there. And you end up doing the same thing. Okay, you are an HR person. What are you going to innovate? You could say, you could suggest, oh, okay, maybe we should get a software to, but that's as far as it goes. So I was like, okay, maybe I work better in creating, innovating and other kinds of setting than this. So that realization came so early on in my career, and I'm very grateful for that. So while I was there, I got a sales job, a part-time job in the evening at Africa Vacation Club. So that was yet another completely different kind of experience. The system was amazing. I actually learned how value is created. I learned things like persuasion, body language, a lot of things. And the system was amazing. It was nothing like I've ever seen in Ethiopia. And it also opened opportunities for travel. So there were, there were company travels every few months. And I believe traveling is like every destination you go to, as long as you're open-minded and you're open to the culture and understanding people, it's like a mini university, going to places. So I really did enjoy it there as well. So those were the first two things that I did. But eventually I had to leave the day job because it was not leaving me any space to think about what I wanted to create or where I wanted to go. And I couldn't keep on, not wanting to do this forever, but still staying there and not having the time to do anything else or to think about anything else. So I left the day job at the SOS. And for a couple of years, I started working on developing this business idea, which was publishing a lifestyle magazine. So I did that during the day, went to my sales job in the evening. So during the day, I would be developing business plans, doing market research, trying to find partners to invest in this idea. And in the end, I found the right partners. And at which point I had to also give up the night job because I wanted, media itself is chaotic. And that other job was kind of demanding. There were targets to be met. There was a lot of goal setting involved. So I did leave that and we started the magazine. We launched it in October 2008. It was one of the most amazing things I did because that was my first time launching anything.
All right.
So yeah.
Tell me about it. What does it entail? Lifestyle magazine. Who are the stakeholders that are coming to work with you, and what opportunities did you get from that?
The content of the magazine itself was, as the name suggests, purely lifestyle, but also really focused on Addis, on life in Addis. So we would be covering things from a healthy living perspective. There would be certain tips by experts, but also where to find things, where to go to exercise, different activities of hiking or whatever. And then other things like where to find the best jobs, where to find the best food, what's upcoming events in the next month. It was a monthly magazine. So we did report on a lot of activities and everything that was going on basically in Addis. We catered to the high end. It was a high-end magazine. We catered mostly to the expatriates. So it went into a lot of embassies, NGOs, UN organizations, and the hotel rooms for most of the 4 and 5-star hotels. And our stakeholders were also the advertisers, were the high-end product and services businesses. So it also gave us the opportunity to do sales and marketing. At that point, I was really fascinated by sales and marketing. So a year into publishing the magazine, we turned the company also into a marketing and media company. And we did a lot of consulting and creating marketing strategies, training sales teams. So we did all that. And through that time, I also took certain courses. I'm always taking courses, short courses. I find that I do better on, self-paced kind of learning. So during those times, I was taking courses like neuromarketing, contagious content, teams building, business administration. So with that, we started the marketing services for other companies, and the magazine served as a platform to get companies as well as to showcase our quality of work.
Would you say your experience, the things that you were telling me right now, are there because of the opportunities that were given to you, handed to you from the family? Because I was thinking about your dad being a doctor in Ethiopia. It's a very prestigious kind of job that he has. So there are opportunities that he can get money and avail resources for his children to have everything they want. Is that because of those circumstances that you got the opportunities that you got, or is it because there is some kind of involvement that relates to curiosity, and the curiosity that you have earning your opportunities and then turning those opportunities into the things that you were telling me about? Which one is it?
I think it's a combination of things.
All right.
I feel like anything that's achieved has a little bit of opportunity added to it.
Right.
Like even being born in this time, in this era, versus being born in the 19th century, is that itself is an opportunity. So I feel like, yes, I was given opportunities, especially being born into the family that I was born to, not from a perspective of, they were into good professions, they had money, and they were going to finance any business that I was. Far from it. They were actually, I wouldn't say, they were very supportive of me in every step that I took. But their judgment would have been more, no, do some job for a while, save enough money instead of looking for partners or jumping into the business world, explore it first. But I was, a little stubborn. I wanted it, and I wanted it then. So, and I had that vision. Doing some other things was not just sitting well with me. So I just had to go for it. But yeah, they were very supportive. And once they knew that I was adamant on doing that, they helped in a lot of different ways. But yeah, that curiosity that I know it's possible, I can see it. I want to challenge myself. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It could fail. And I wanted to go out and challenge myself to that.
I sometimes think about young people in the country and opportunities being availed to them, and the role that family has in actually contributing to their achievement. What we see in cities, especially in Ethiopia, is we get the chances, the opportunities, or maybe how I think about it, but not the reality. The reality could be different, but I'm from the countryside, not a countryside, actually. I'm from the periphery. So I see people in others, and I resent whatever they do. I'm not doing that anymore, but I used to resent whatever they do. I used to think like, she has all these opportunities and he has all these chances, but they're not benefiting, they're not putting the effort and the work to make it work and achieve something. That was my thought. But living in others and interacting with people, having friends in others, that's not the reality. That's not the truth now. But would you say that the circumstances, the environment that you are in or you grew up in helped you achieve what you achieved? Besides the contribution of your family and in addition to the role that they had?
Absolutely. It helped. Growing up where I did, having going to school where I went to school, just in general being raised here in a community where you go like 2-3 steps within your network and you have access to somebody who you can connect for, and you know that connection can help you in business. So 100% that helped. And you're right, and you were right in a way in observing, okay, you know, like they have all this opportunity and they're misusing it. And I can understand that, but I also see the other side of the coin, which is you didn't have to struggle for it. You didn't have to dream about it. You didn't have to, go through a ceiling that, you didn't have to break through that, which are things that actually build your resilience, your strength. And, as you walk in life, you feel kind of weak sometimes for being provided with things by the community, by your parents, or just having things easy. You feel like, I'm not hardened enough, like my journey has been very smooth and it has made me soft. So that's the other side of being handed opportunities. And so.
All right. Where did you go to high school?
Another school.
It's one of those prestigious schools in Ethiopia and others where only girls in school.
Yeah, that was.
So there's this song that I like by Rofnan, or one of these guys, talking about a school and talking about his love life. His or some imaginary characters' love life. And I always imagine people going to those kind of schools must be part of the solutions, the bigger solutions to the poverty that we struggle with. Am I correct in assuming that? Because at the back of my mind, what I have is, I think going to those kind of schools, you can have every kind of book that you want to read. You can have all kind of teachers that you want to learn under, and mentors could be around you, who can surround you and give you all the knowledge that you want. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah, it is actually one of the best schools. It still is, and it was for sure when we were in school there. And going to school there actually also meant that you would get good scores. We never really looked at it from another perspective. You go to Nazareth school, you're guaranteed a very good result on your school leaving examination. And perhaps also even SATs and TOEFL, and you might get your scholarships and go abroad. But it's not until much later that you look back and you say, I went to that school when there weren't too many private schools, or yes, there were the community schools and there were these Catholic schools like Nazareth School and the others. But you feel like, okay, I had an opportunity then that was not granted to everyone. So I do have a responsibility to help. In fact, we had a reunion with my classmates just this summer. A lot of them are abroad. And the reunion was not just about getting together and just hanging out or reminiscing. It kind of evolved, and we're still talking like on daily basis and we're trying to create impact for the school, for the community. People are in different professions.
Yeah.
They have access to different things, resources. So we're trying to organize something because we feel now that we have to help the community. This is the community that raised us. This is the community that gave us all it had, and that was not even fairly distributed to everyone. We were as an advantage, and so now we have to give back. That's a must do. So yeah.
All right, great. Take me through your journey in terms of your career right after the lifestyle magazine.
Yeah, so I did the lifestyle magazine for 8 years. So all the way through 2016, the magazine was being published, and at the same time we were doing a lot of marketing jobs for different clients. And one of the clients, actually very early on, as we started giving the service, was EBS TV. Which is something that led to me being referred to the Arts TV people later on, which was the next thing that came after the magazine. But even before that, like around the beginning of 2016, we were already thinking of changing the format of the magazine. In a sense, we knew that print was going to go out. It's not going to be for everything. But even going digital, the business model of a monthly lifestyle magazine, in a world where social media is getting more traction, was not feasible. And so that's one of the things that I do as well. Like I try to anticipate what's going to come, because I don't like being shocked. I like being prepared, and I like having different strategies. So we were working with this agency in order to create a lifestyle show, and we were thinking maybe EBS, maybe some other TV. We were going to place it somewhere. So as we're doing that is when I got the connection with the Arts TV people, and they wanted me to set up their sales and marketing department as I did for EBS. But at that point, and they wanted to keep it in-house. But at that point, I have a company that I'm running. So I'm not going to leave that and go get hired somewhere. And they were not going to outsource that job. So I thought this was a very good opportunity. They were just setting up. The company was about on the way to being incorporated. I said, I can buy a share and become a shareholder. And they were vetting people, to become part of that, because, like for shared visions and that kind of purpose. So I said, I can be a partner. That way I can do your sales and marketing for you full time, which I will also be working for my own company, so that would be fine. But the third reason why I thought this was brilliant was I could take the lifestyle format, the magazine format lifestyle show, which was the magazine evolving itself. I can go now produce it with this station and place it on that station as well. So I thought, okay, 3 birds with 1 stone. So yeah, I immediately joined. They were gracious enough to accept me into their partnership. So I joined Arts, and I was the sales and marketing head for 1.5 years. But since it was not up and operational, like I joined from the incorporation time, there was nothing to sell. There was nothing to market, but there was a lot of preparation to do. There were a lot of departmental manuals to do. There was a business plan to do. There were the financials to forecast. There were people to connect to projects, partners, content partners. So we were doing that for about 1.5 years, all during the entire time the magazine had stopped now. And so after 1.5 years of me being the sales and marketing person, I was then mandated with another task. I was going to be the interim CEO of Art, with the task of getting it on air in a few months. So basically launching it with no further delay. So I did that. It was, I have to say, it's a very important, and the other important period in my career life. because I saw what dedication and vision really could do. What was done within those 5 to 6 months was amazing. The collaboration there was, the synergy there was between the team, the shareholders, the board, everything just was amazing. It was flawless, actually. So we did that. We came on air, and I stayed on afterwards for like 4 or 5 months
As a CEO.
as a CEO. But then I had to leave for a couple of reasons, as well as the fact that I was pregnant and I was gonna have a baby.
For a couple of reasons, a lawyer wouldn't disclose on a podcast. All right.
No, I had different visions, and
right.
so arts had its own visions, and I had a different kind of vision for any media that I would want to run. So that decision was helped by the fact that I was pregnant. So that was very easy decision for me.
Right.
I was like, I'm not going to spend my entire pregnancy in this kind of chaotic media craziness, So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop this here, and I'm not going to go into any other job or any other project. I'm going to really relax, do some reading, do some learning through this time, like until my daughter turned 1 at least. So that was like a kind of a pause time for me. The problem with that was, as soon as I had my baby and I was thinking of learning this, I was signing up for that. I was gonna start dreaming about my next project, and then that was COVID time. COVID had its own plan for all of us. So I, so that time just passed. Me learning. I went to school for a very interesting topic then. I saw the craziness that COVID was creating all around the world. The depression level, the desperation of businesses and people. So I was like, maybe I'll learn something where I can help people. So I registered for this personal and business coaching institute, which is owned by one of my most favorite people, I have to say. I don't know if you know Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tony Robbins, on his books, on his clips, on different social media, and on his courses, completely different things. He is one of the greatest strategists of all time.
That I believe. That's so true.
Yes.
That's
exactly what I wanted to learn from him.
I mean, this guy bringing all those people to an arena and telling them about his stuff.
No, not just that. I mean, he counsels with heads of states.
Yeah, definitely. The whole strategy is big. All right.
It is.
Yeah.
And inside the courses, I really did learn some things that those are his things. It's not a fluff. I mean, I can't be sold on, that's Tony Robbins. He said this, and so I have to do this. No. But step-by-step things that you could do towards your clients that you are coaching in business, how you can turn around a failing business or a failing whatever, kind of like a team. He has certain steps that are really foolproof. And for me, that was
it's okay, but I would rather learn about a strategy or anything of that nature from other people, from maybe war strategists, so those other people, but bring in a very prosperous nation, bringing people together to tell them this and that will happen, then they can actually manifest a lot of things. It's not for me, but making money is a strategy at the end of the day. So he's making money. I respect him for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I took his course, and after I was done with that, I didn't know what to do with myself.
All right.
Because, okay, there's COVID. The economy is, as you know it, a lot of the industries are really affected by it. And I'm like, okay, I think for the first time, I'm actually really feeling lost. I don't know what to do. Just because I really did not know what to do. I was out of ideas. And so, because I was so ready to go back into work, I volunteered to help out a few of my friends with their businesses because they were struggling as well. Some of them were in the service industry. So I started helping them with, navigating the new, the new way of doing things. How could they pass through this challenging times? Coming up with basically different strategies and new means of revenues from their existing businesses. So I kind of helped with that. And then I got a call from a friend saying his friend was setting up a media company. He needs help. If you're really wanting to do something, you can just go help him. I was like, okay. I wouldn't mind being hired just to get back into that, momentum of working and whatever. So I joined that organization. It had the right visions. It had the right networks. It had the right preparations. But unfortunately, the idea was to publish a travel magazine. And that was already signed with, different airlines, different bureaus, government agencies and whatever. But then, there is no travel. The travel industry, the tourism industry is just dead. And so it was a very wrong timing. But he was also doing a radio show. So, I was helping with that. And we started doing I said, okay, while I'm here, we can also do a few consultancy jobs. So we did that with him in a hope that, COVID will pass. And then, we'll be back to normal. And then the Ethiopian conflict happened. And so it was just a wrong timing for a travel magazine. So that had to be forfeited. And eventually he just focused on his radio show. And I had to go out and do my own thing. All the while, I was following up a lot on the AI thing. And this is way before ChatGPT, that earthquake happened. But I was following a lot of newsletters in this area because I've always been interested in this topic. Even the old movies that were trying to predict, where artificial intelligence is going to take us, from the very mention of the name, like in the 50s or whatever, like a lot of different authors wrote so many things about it. A lot of movies try to predict, the Matrix, the Transformers, and so those are definitely interesting. But then later on, I also read a book by Dan Brown. That was a bit thought provoking. I think it's Origin, right? The one with the computer. Yeah. Okay. So basically, a machine with an artificial intelligence. So it was
We'll talk about that a lot because this is one of the most interesting areas to discuss with people everywhere. We talk a lot about it, and the one thing that is really different about it is we're practical, we're using it, we're harnessing the opportunity. The chances we get from all these things is a lot. But you mentioned interesting things along the way of your way of explaining your career and journey, and you touched upon different things. I don't want to say, I'm hesitant to say that you achieved a lot, this and that happened for you, and you can be an example, because people will assume that I'm telling you this because you are a woman, and I wouldn't say it to a guy. You achieved a lot because you were curious, because you did a lot, and that is a great thing. But still, I'm stuck on an idea of a person from Ethiopia thinking about all these things and achieving them, getting some results out of them. And I was thinking about, where is that coming from? For example, if you ask me, or if you ask one of my friends who would think about the job insecurities and things not going the way we want them to go. So refraining from taking chances and all those kind of things. But I think what we have to do is really that go for that thing that you want and do something about it and meet people and create chances. So tell me about that, the mentality or the mindset that gave you the boldness or the courage to actually go through all these things and achieve all that.
I actually think it's a combination of character, of who I really am. I am ever since I was a child. I'm an eternal optimist. Like I see the positive sides. I am not. I wouldn't say reckless, but I'm always good at recognizing the potential and then looking at that positive side, looking at the possibilities rather than the problems. Problems are always there. I mean, so what? It won't kill you. That's the one thing. And second, I don't have attachment. Is the biggest thing. I think that is also, I don't have attachment to a certain level of success or title. So I'm okay if I fail tomorrow. I am not. It's not going to be but what's going to happen if I fail? And if I can't make the same amount of revenue next time, or the project fails and I go bankrupt, I really don't care about these things. And yeah, as I said, that my character helps me because I think a lot of people who know me would agree. I have a very childlike kind of character. Really, I like something. I see that, like a child that sees that shiny candy. I have to go after it, regardless of, how many of my peers are over there doing their group play or whatever. So yeah, character helps. That's the first thing. And second, it also helps to know that worst case scenario is not really all that bad. Because I have people, not just family. I have people around me to support me, So when I go after something and when I believe in something, I have a lot of support from my network. I have a lot of friends that I can count on. And so that also helps, I think, because, it eliminates a certain level of the fear that people face when they're trying to go for something. So I think that also helps.
Great. You love books. You love reading books. And the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about the longevity of books after this time. And even we were predicting the time television will be relevant, and television and universities and books. And I was saying, I will be having universities for the coming 10 or 15 years, and TV for the coming 5 to 7 years. And books are not actually something that you talk about a lot these days. When we grew up in Ethiopia, people were considered to be fancy or considered to be intellectuals because they talk about books. They say this and that authors about Gabriel Xavier said this, and Gabriel Christos Desta was like this. Their lifestyle, what they said, it was a lot of quotes coming from their conversation with people. What they wrote and the characters they created in the books. Nowadays, that's not a thing.
It's not.
That's not a thing.
At all.
We don't talk about any of them at all.
Yeah.
Are you worried that books will vanish and will be obsolete in very near time, maybe 10 or 15 years?
Not entirely. But majority of the books that will be out there would be AI generated. And majority of the readers of the book will have probably put the book into an AI and asking for summary. So AI will be writing it and AI will also be reading it. I think that's going to be the cycle. I do use certain tools to summarize books for me.
All right.
But I'm very selective on which books that I do that. Because for me, reading is not just to get the points. It's not for the summary points only. It's like a fun activity. And a book, not even on a Kindle or a tablet, but a book, reading a book. That, that maybe it's how we're wired, neural connections that was created all those years as we were growing up, and that was the actual, cool thing to do. But for me, reading is fun, and so I read books. There are, I don't know how much percentage of the population would be in my age group having experienced this, wired like this, and would still be interested in books. I mean, it might not be the ideal target market for coming out with books now. But in terms of books that have, for instance, a friend of mine recently launched a book on AI. And it was written with AI. I mean, yes, he directed it, but he co-wrote it with ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
I read it because it was relevant to what I was, what I'm doing. I read it. At least I skimmed through it. Something like that, something that's related to your career, something that you want to take some points out of. You will get the book. You'll dump it in an AI. It will bring it back in a summarized kind of format. So that sort of thing is going to be, I don't know, maybe for a little while, it will be around. But the traditional, book writing authors and then us buying it and reading it, I don't know how long it's gonna last. A lot of things are gonna change, and that's definitely one of the things that are gonna change.
Are you thinking? I know the books part of it is because it relates to your profession. And we'll be talking about it, AI, and what the contribution of AI to that area is. But I was mentioning universities and other things, like, for example, traditional media, like television. Do you watch TV?
No. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 6 years now. I don't have... Not that I deliberately decide. I don't even remember, but I just don't have the means.
People don't remember. That's a problem. Listen,
yeah,
we have the TV set, the thing, we have it at home, but that black thing, that's the idea I have of it. Never, attempted to have any kind of sit down and watch anything from that. Because of how we're wired now, and the kids have their own life and they revolve around whatever is fancy these days from their tablet and other gadgets they have. So I see this thing, I observe it, but it's not popular to say we won't be needing TVs after like 10 years. It's not that popular to say that, but at the back of my mind, I believe we don't need these things. Would you say that is okay?
It is okay to say that, to predict that. I'm not sure how accurate it would be, because these things, we're still navigating on how this thing is going to affect anything, really. We're seeing just the tip of the iceberg now.
Yeah.
So naturally, we would assume, okay, if it's already doing this, if the technology now is doing this, obviously in 10 years, we're not going to need TV, not unless in the sense of traditional media thing. Maybe things like Netflix would still be around. Maybe most of the content would be AI generated, but they'll still be around, and then you can connect your TV to it. But maybe that would be the only purpose of TV. But who knows, maybe in 10 years, you would be able to see on and non-screen screen, like just on air. Like, you don't know where it's going to lead.
Those sci-fi movies.
I watched too many of them. But yeah, I mean, we don't know yet where it's going to be. But it's a fair kind of assessment to say these things, at least not in the sense that we know them, they're not going to be around. Definitely. Same goes for the universities. The universities cannot be following the same model that we know now in 10, 12 to 15 years. Would they still be around? Maybe. Doing something else in a very different system. The system that we're yet going to be developing, because we have no idea where we're going right now. So things are going to change 100%. Where are they going to go? No clue.
Amazing. The last time we spoke, I heard, I was given an information. You texted me, or I got an information that you've been participating in one of the shows. Tell me about that. Is that an exhibition or some sort?
Yes, it was. Yes, I did participate in Africa Sourcing and Fashion Week exhibition.
I was involved in that. Tell
Yes.
me about that. A fashion week, and there is display of all those things using artificial intelligence.
Yes.
All right.
So yeah, my presence there was actually to showcase the need for people in that industry, in the textile, leather, fashion industry, to be able to embrace AI. Because, look, it's not a question anymore what industry it's going to show up in, or if it's going to show up in your industry. It's how it's going to show up in your industry. And you have to be ready for it if you want to become competitive enough in the market, because people are going to be using your competitions are going to be using it to cut costs, to create more efficiency. And so in whatever industry you are, you have to be on top of the news of, okay, what can I do? How can I utilize the different AI tools? What is out there that's available for me, which can increase my productivity, or create more efficiency, or a better waste management, more sustainability, more environmental aware kind of a service or product. So that was the perspective that I went into the exhibition with. So yeah, I called it the AI thread, so that that I had a double meaning, because really the future of Africa. This is a good time for Africa to catch up, not to catch up, actually to leapfrog, because AI is kind of like creating a level playing field, and we cannot be left behind just one more time yet again. So yeah, since it was an African focused kind of event with different African designers, manufacturers, so I wanted to target them into nudging them to the right direction of ethical use of AI.
So in the world of AI, I believe we'll be having a podcast session, maybe not as physically present in this around this table and this chairs, but maybe some kind of a virtual reality or some kind of thing can talk or have this conversation in the future times. I believe that would be a very fantastic thing to do. But thinking about it in Ethiopia, the tradition that we have, how communal life we have, or the community that surrounds us, that is somehow weird, but it's somehow inevitable. So we have to accept it. So what's the future for your company, and what are you doing?
The future for the company. The company now engages in consulting. So we consult companies on how they can use AI. We build systems for them if they so desire, and we do trainings for their teams as well. So that's what we're currently doing. But the next step is to teach individuals, like the public at large. Because
Teach what?
AI. So yeah, right now the focus is the company. The companies, they can train their employees on how to use the different AI tools to do automations, operations, creative stuff, a lot of different things, since that is inevitable. And so yeah, we're consulting, we're teaching, but at a corporate kind of level. But the next step will be teaching, teaching to people, individuals who are interested. Could be startups, people with ideas that want to take to become solopreneurs, or maybe just individual operators, AI supported operators that want to freelance, or whatever help. If they think it helps with their project, they can come take the course. So the next step is to teach it. But right now, the main focus is to advocate, the use of AI. Not just because we are teaching it, and when we're advocating, we're not only advocating our company, because we have very limited tracks of courses at the moment. But in general, AI is not something that waits for you. It's not like one of those things that you say, okay, it's still in the process, let them cook it, and when it's fully baked, then we'll get a taste of it. It's not. Before you know it, it's out there and you can't catch up. Somebody else that knows how to use AI comes for your job, for your position. And there's going to be a lot of job disruption. So, if we could help, it would be really great to be able to address even a small percentage of the people in the entire employment scenario. But even if we can't, at least we can nudge them in the right direction. These days there are enough tools for you to learn on your own over the internet. So
it's a very informative conversation, and I want to have it for the coming 2 hours or 3 hours, but I better think of the next time we'll be having this conversation and ask you to come the next time, then finish the whole thing today. I learned a lot, and I got a lot of things from this conversation, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really wonderful. And yeah, I look forward to our next conversation as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abraham.
All right.